she's being told X, Y, and Z, and I don't think much. Get out of there. Well, the crowd are seeing the pictures on the big screen.
This will be a day to remember in the tennis world.
You know, if I was to lose to anyone, it would definitely be you.
And if you're doing that, the risks are often not as great as they seem to be. So for me, when I thought about...
Her coach has finally broken his silence, and what he revealed about the truth behind Alex Eala's tears changes everything. For weeks the world thought they knew what happened in Manila. The pressure got to her. Yeah, there were really tough moments. The moment was too big.
Yeah, there were really tough moments.
The golden girl of Philippine. Tennis crumbled when it mattered most.
I'm like super happy.
Totally understand the emotion right now.
That's what everyone thought. It is a lie. What truly took place on that trial? Alex Eala's body placement. Through 2 grueling hours as in. The whole country was never supposed to watch. To emerge. She made her group swear. Pleaded with them to make the world think she just lost. She then took a seat in that press conference.
The only ones. Oh, Alexandra Eala, though.
Destroyed and told 100 million people she was sorry for failing them. But her coach couldn't watch anymore. What he will expose in the next 5 minutes left that room in stunned silence. Reporters stopped writing. Cameras froze because what they heard wasn't a story about losing. It was a story about a 20-year-old girl who could barely stand, who had been told by doctors she shouldn't even walk, choosing to destroy her own body rather than disappoint her people. To understand the weight of what happened, you need to understand what this tournament meant. The Philippines had waited decades for this moment, not just for a tournament, but for proof that a country of 100 million people could produce a tennis star who belonged on the world stage. And then came Alexa, a girl from Quezon City who left her family at 13 years old, moved to Spain alone, and trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy while other kids her age went to birthday parties and school dances. She traded her childhood for a dream that everyone said was impossible. No Filipino had ever cracked the top 50. No Filipino had ever beaten a top 5 player. No Filipino had ever won a Grand Slam match. Alex did all 3. Miami 2025. She walked in as a wild card ranked 141st in the world. She walked out having beaten 3 Grand Slam champions in a row, including world number 2, Agassi. The tennis world didn't just notice her. They couldn't stop talking about her. Alexandra Eala wasn't just a promising talent anymore. She was a phenomenon. She won the SEA Games gold, the first Filipina to do it in 26 years. She broke into the top 50 magazine covers, endorsement deals. Her press conferences drew more views than Alcaz and Sabalanca combined. And when the WTA announced the Philippine Women's Open, the first professional women's tennis tournament ever held in the country, there was only one story the nation wanted to see. Alex Eala lifting the trophy on home soil. Tickets vanished in minutes. The Rizal Memorial Tennis Center transformed into a tennis cathedral. Drums, flags, banners stretching across entire sections. Families who had never watched tennis in their lives bought tickets just to witness history. This wasn't a tournament anymore. This was a coronation. The prodigal daughter had returned and an entire country expected her to claim her throne. The weight on her shoulders was immense. But pressure wasn't what would bring Alex Eala down. 3 days before the quarterfinals, something happened in practice that would change everything. A routine drill, a sudden pivot, and then loss of video footage. Only close-up of Eala's face showing instant pain. Alex Eala had just torn the ligaments in her ankle. Not a twist, not a sprain. A grade 2 ligament tear. The kind of injury that ends tournaments, ends seasons, the kind that puts professional athletes on crutches for weeks. Doctors examined her immediately. The diagnosis was devastating. The ankle had already begun swelling. Within hours, it would double in size. The pain would be unbearable, like shards of glass grinding against bone with every step. Their recommendation was unanimous. Withdraw immediately. Do not play. Her team agreed. Her family begged her. Everyone who loved her said the same thing. Pull out now. Protect your body. There will be other tournaments. Alex refused. Her people were waiting. They had bought tickets. They had traveled from provinces across the country. Little girls had made signs with her name. Families had saved for months just to watch her play. She would not abandon them. If she had to crawl onto that court, she would play. For the next 72 hours, Alex Eala lived in the physio room. 6 hours a day of treatment just to reduce the swelling enough to fit her foot into a tennis shoe. Ice, compression, elevation, pain management that bordered on desperate. And then the injections, needles driven directly into the damaged tissue so she could walk without collapsing. Nobody outside her inner circle knew. Not the tournament, not the media, not the fans counting down the hours until her quarterfinal match. Alexa was going to war with a broken body, and she was determined to fight alone. Standing across the net would be Camilo Osorio. The Colombian wasn't in Manila for vacation. She was a former top 35 player, a proven winner on the WTA Tour, the kind of opponent who turns every match into a physical war, grinding baseline rallies, suffocating defense, and an iron will that never cracks. Osorio had beaten top 20 players. She had competed on Grand Slam stages. She knew exactly how to exploit weakness, and she was about to face an opponent who could barely walk. If Osorio sensed even a hint of vulnerability, she would attack without mercy. That's what elite competitors do. They find the wound and press on it until their opponent breaks. Alex knew this. Her team knew this. Everyone in that locker room understood what was coming. But there was no turning back. The roar that greeted Alexandra Eala when she stepped onto that court was unlike anything Philippine tennis had ever witnessed. Thousands of voices screaming her name. Drums shaking the foundations of the stadium. An ocean of red, white, and blue flags rippling through the stands. Every seat filled. Every eye fixed on the girl who carried their dreams. They had no idea what she was hiding. From the opening game, something was wrong. The explosive first step that defines her game gone. The whipping forehand that had destroyed Swiatek in Miami. Hesitant, uncertain. She was moving, but she wasn't flying. The sharpness had vanished. Osorio noticed immediately. The Colombian began her assault. A drop shot to the forehand, a deep ball to the backhand, side to side, corner to corner, forcing Alex to move, forcing her to plant that foot again and again and again. Every pivot was agony. Every sprint was torture. Every time she pushed off that ankle, the pain ripped through her like fire. But she never stopped. The first set slipped away. 6-2 Osorio. Her face between changeovers told the real story. That wasn't frustration. That wasn't disappointment in her game. That was a human being fighting through pain that would put most people on the floor. Her team sat in the player box helpless. They knew what she was enduring. They knew she shouldn't be out there, but they also knew nothing in the world would make her quit. The second set became something else entirely. A war of pure will down a set against a superior opponent. Playing on essentially one leg, Alex Eala did what champions do. She fought back. She broke Osorio's serve and the stadium erupted. The noise was deafening. 3 games all. The impossible suddenly felt within reach. For one beautiful, agonizing moment, it looked like willpower might be enough. And then came the moment that ended everything. 4 games all. Osorio drops another short ball. Alex sprints forward the way she's done 1,000 times. Plants her foot to change direction and freezes. Her face contorts. The pain is visible from the top row. Something inside that ankle has given way. Something has finally broken. She loses the point, loses the game, loses the next game. She saves match points because of course she does, but her body has nothing left to give. 6-4. 6-4. It's over. At the net, Osorio held her hand for a long time. She had seen the limp. She knew something was wrong. Later, she would call Alex crazy for even stepping on the court. She would call her a great competitor who would be a champion for years to come. But in that moment, none of it mattered. The golden girl of Philippine tennis walked off that court with her head bowed. The crowd sat in stunned silence, not angry, just confused, heartbroken. This wasn't how the story was supposed to end, and the worst part was still coming. 30 minutes later, Alexandra Eala walked into the press room. She wore her national team jacket. The makeup team had tried their best, but nothing could hide the swelling around her eyes, the redness, the exhaustion carved into every inch of her face. She sat down, adjusted the microphone, took a breath, and then she broke. The words came out in fragments, shattered sentences between sobs. She said she let them down. Her fans, her family, her country. She said she wanted to give them something to celebrate. She said she tried with everything she had.